Yo, this is a lot of checking in. And today I'll be talking about the transits in the sky today, which is Sag, Sun, and Libra Moon. So today we're experiencing the fire and air type elements. So the air elements is gonna be the moon, so it's how you have how you take care of yourself internally. So like you're gonna be thinking of ways of how to start communication and have starting balance and how to equilibrium things. Hey man, fuck it. I was gonna end the video, but man, fuck it. I messed up. But Libra is like, it's mainly like a balance sign, relationship sign, and it likes to start things with communication and also relating with things. But the thing about Libra is being too relatable and also starting like communication, like you gonna have things off balance because it's like it's a cardinal sign, so let's start things. But like what you'd like to start on, is it worth balancing, and how do you see yourself out of it? Because at times Libras can be selfless in a way. It could be a selfless sign, which is like, that's why it's opposite from Aries, because Aries like to like initiate things, but it likes to put their foot in and stuff like that. But Libra is like, okay, how can I do it? But it's not all about me. It's about, balance and communication. And that's the thing about Libra. Like, the good thing about Libra is like it's selfless, but also you want to make a like balance with that. Like, you want to be selfless, but also put your 1-2 in, like, cause like especially how this world is and shit like that. You can't be all cookies and cream with everybody and stuff like that. Like, we got like humans around this world and people with human traits. So it's like animalistic traits. So like you thinking like, oh yeah, like it's all about love and light and shit like that. You can't be like that. Not to say you got to be not to be an asshole all the time, but like, let's be real. Like, this is not heaven. This is like earth with humans and like animalistic thoughts. And once you start to help yourself internally with that, you start to click on, it's like, okay, I relate with this, I relate with that, I disassociate with that, I disassociate with this. Kind of like an Aquarius type, but Aquarius is like isolated more. But like, do like a little bit of Aquarius, like detach from things that don't like, that you don't really fuck with, or that don't put you into the mix. Because one thing I know is like a Libra likes to start things, like I said, but it never gets its 1-2 because it's always thinking about everybody or thinking people out besides themselves. But going that to say, we have Sag Sun. So Sag is creativity, spiritual. I said spiritualism. Okay, fuck it, spiritualism, and also morals. And spiritualism and all that, it ain't really like all too like fairy tale and shit like that. It's just basically your individuality, so like how you express yourself. That lines up with creativity. So like, everybody's creative in their own way. If you choose to, that's the thing. You have a choice to be yourself, or you can be of the world. Which Delo said, like, it's good to be in the world. You're not in it, or you're not of it. But looking from a materialistic way, a physical way, you in it, cause like we in it. But we not of these things, because things that we make and stuff like that, these things are like shits. Their thoughts and feelings and everything is just shit. So we not of these things, but we make it. And that also correlates to the west to the east, because you start from the west to the east instead of the east to the west. Because like the west side is like everything that's like transitioning from separating things to going to like being around nothing. And then when you go to the east, you accumulate things, which is why it's good to do things when it's daytime. Put that energy work, because the sun, that's when the sun that means the sun rises, and then when it goes down, it goes to the west. And then also I might be wrong on how I'm talking about, because it's different atmospheres how it works. So it's like the psyche could be looking like that way, but it's actually that way. So I'm explaining it like in the right way, but like the east and the west, depending on where it goes, that's probably what I'm wrong on. But like, if I'm not, I'm not. But that's mainly what I'm talking about. Like, you don't want to be in the world. You don't want to be in the world or of it, but participate in the world. But then you're not of this world. Like, you're doing things for all possibilities instead of being limited, and then hold on to beastly natures, animalistic natures, and which is not healthy or good, because there's no balance to it. There's no moderation, which is why it's good to like take care, take power control over it, and so you don't have to so you can ascend from that. And that correlates with the, you know, individuality and then the morals and stuff like that. Like, it's good to have some good morals. Like, I would say some morals on this like world, in this world or whatever, it's okay. But some of it's like when you grow like wiser and you start to become like more broader in your space, you start to notice like these morals aren't really like all of that. Like, I can like do some real like some real ass shit. Like, let me give you an example for morals. Like, good or bad. Like, the morals, like when most people morals are like good or bad. What's the name? Good or bad. Shit, I should have wrote this down. I got this shit wrote down, but the morals part. So like most people morals are like it's good or bad, or is it evil or something like that. But like once you start to grow broader as a spirit, you start to know this thing like this ain't good or bad, it's just character traits. Because most of the time the like so quote unquote evil people are actually the good people, but it's just how you see things morally. And like it's like what's your intent. So like just say like someone that's like robbing houses and shit like that, morally that's wrong in a way from a human perspective, but also like what they're doing it for, why they robbing a house for. And in totality, like, yeah, robbing and stealing and shit like that, it's not good. But also you gotta look at it from another point of view. You can't just look at it bias. There you go. Yeah, that shit right there. So like you can't look at it from a bias or like one perspective. Like you have had most perspective of looking at things, instead of having a limited way of looking like, oh, this is good or bad. Like, okay, it's good and bad, it's good and bad, but what's the bigger picture of it and stuff like that? Or how is it beneficial, or like how's it affecting something, or and what's the cause of it? Like what's like how's it affecting and causing, or causing and affecting things? And so going back to like the person robbing the house, like yeah, it's wrong, but what if the person robbing the house doesn't have enough money to, like, you know, he's not getting accepted by jobs, he's not, in a way it's his fault, but like that's what I'm saying, like it's his fault for not being open-minded on how to do things. Yes, it's wrong to rob people's houses, and I don't see nothing wrong with robbing people's houses if you have a good intent with it, because it's not what you do, it's how you do things. And sometimes you gotta do things that to get any way. And then that's also going along with like this world, like how this world is, like with the money and shit like that, like how they have the structure and everything. Shout out to Mooney Mercury, baby, talking about the financial and the business and stuff like that. He said that how humans started the world with the business. This is like a side piece, but it's like I'm gonna break it down real quick. He talks about how the world is, how humans started along with trading, and trading is like a tool. It ain't something like how this industry and a corporation just simply as a tool. Like, okay, you get this, I get that. But then they start to like get all narcissistic and really egotistical, so they start to like manage things. And like the money and stuff like that, like the money is just money, it's just paper. We give it energy and shit like that. Like it ain't nothing to be all spooked about, or it ain't something to be all needy and greedy and shit like that. It's just a tool to get things, materialistic things, and then also other things in that essence. So like, and that's another point. Like once you start to be more like broader and wiser, you start to see more points, instead of like, oh, looking at shit from a not as simple or not a basic, but just like a limited perspective. And like, man, like, yes, it's good and bad, but okay, there's more to the twist. There's more to the story. And it's like that. Yeah, real shit. More of the story. You know, it's a bigger picture to things. But yeah, that connects to Sag Libra. That connects to Sag Sun and Libra Moon. So it's like they like to start things on their morals and their individuality, but it's not all about you. You gotta communicate with other people, like-minded people. So like, and then also I've been talking to people online, like, even though I don't have like that much people to talk to in real life, but it's just the location and the environment I'm in, which that's like, you know, personal. But talking to people online, I do like a little bit online, like experiments. Like I be like socializing with other people. Like I talk to people and stuff like that. Like most of the time it be bullshit, but I still make ways out of it, still like learn out of it. But like, for an example, like I start talking to people on this app called 3, and like there's good conversations and there's way to do things. Some people out of balance and flunked out, and they like to get too egotistical. Yeah. egotistical about things, and like it ain't even that serious. Like most of the time they be arguing, but like sometimes I find good conversation where we can everybody's a part of the table, nobody's left out, and put our ego to the side, like let's like talk about some real ass shit. And at times it's not like how like okay how we have a broader awareness, because like when you have a broader spirit, it's kind of hard to like manage when you're contracting into like some basic shit. But like the simplest shit is in sometimes in the, like the little shit where you gotta like contract, but also notice that okay, I'm on a mission and shit like that, and also I'm wise enough to like that goes with Libra, like manage things, equilibrium. And like with the emotional intelligence, that's connects with the emotional intelligence, because you gotta learn how things shift and how things like move, and internally, like how your moods like how your moods change, and also how the external changes. And you can't be like feel so fixated, okay, like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that, but your emotions all flunked out. Like you have to have the man manage the woman, which is the woman's the emotion and the man's the logic. So you have to have emotional intelligence managing over that, and also having emotional intelligence with talking to people, because some people come off crazy sideways, but if you have the emotional intelligence to talk to people, which is Libra's really good at emotional intelligence, because they good at the communication and then also balancing things. They like to have things managed in equilibrium, and that goes with the selfless part. But when you have emotional intelligence with talking to people, you're able to articulate and also use the man and the woman in a constructive way. So like there'd be a lot of people that talk shit, but if you know how to articulate yourself and come approach with things, instead of them getting mad, they'll like see themselves like, oh, like yeah, that is fucked up. Like you correct them, you put people on check, but and also when things is not fair or whatever, you still talk it out, and that kind of connects with the morals. And also, yeah, everything's not about you, so it's good to talk to other people and like-minded people, but mostly like-minded people, because there's a shift going on and stuff like that. So like be with people that align with you. But I noticed that like everybody's gonna have their own type of style, their own type of swag, but hang around people that's actually comfortable, that you feel comfortable with, and also that you have the same type of mindset, because not everybody's gonna be the same, and that's cool. Even though like we're like separate in a way, how our mind spaces are, because like we came to this world bending in, having our own minds, and actually we supposed to be like one of a, like like we all one of a kind, but we also supposed to be on the same type of page, same type of mission, instead of person like the religion, like, oh, this is Christianity, that's a good example too. This is Christianity, this is Islam, this is Jewish, this is Buddhism, and like all these religions, they all separate, but they don't realize that when you come all together, it's actually like you have all the pieces of the puzzle. And that's kind of like how we are around this world. We have all pieces of the puzzle. Instead of being your ego, how about we become selfless and do things for all possibilities, which people like to call God. But I don't like to call God, or not, I don't like to call it anything at all. But like that's like the bigger picture. Like everybody come together and get out their egos. Like, yeah, you're right about this, but there's another way to look at it. There's another more perspective to look at it. Instead of looking like that, everybody got a piece of the puzzle to come together. Instead of being your egos and like, oh yeah, my Bible is better, my God is better. And then how y'all think about things and how y'all practice things, it's not really healthy. It's like childish shit. It's really childish. It's not mature or nothing, or anything. It's not mature enough, and especially this age and how things are. And also, since it's a cardinal sign, and then since the moon's a cardinal and then the sun's immutable, it likes to start things by expanding. So like, you start to communicate and then it expands. So like, what you like to talk about? Start things on business-wise, since Mercury's in Capricorn, and since Mercury doesn't have to be Capricorn, Venus doesn't have to be in Scorpio to start things, just to do things naturally. And then like, just say like today I start on something, then the transits click on in a couple months, that piece goes to that transit. So instead of like doing things like, oh, today's motherfucking Libra, so I'm gonna start communicating. Like, no, just just express yourself, and everything goes along. Cause like at times it can be like, oh yeah, today's Thursday, so I'm gonna be expansive. You should be expansive every day. Like don't be so like limited on how you express yourself or do things. Just start things, and then things will add up along the way. But yeah, starting things by communicating. So then when you start to communicate things, you feel emotionally comfortable. And then the sun, how it does, since the sun is like it's like a binding, and also like I almost say like a reflection, but it's like it outputs things. So like it shows. I don't know the word for it. Fuck all these words, but like once you act upon that energy, the sun's gonna like condense or condense whatever's going on. So like, and then like it's gonna condense in reality. So you start to see things how it plays off, and also it's a grand Earth trine, but it's either Virgo, Taurus, and Cat. Yeah, so we already know that Virgo is in Lilith. So Lilith is like how you see things, and then it's also in the embarrassments. And that's one way of looking at it, but like also Lilith is like a feminine sign, and then like the characteristics of Lilith is like a badass, and like it likes to like empower their femininity. And not like, I don't like to look at like the femininity as like the feminist movement, but like, you know, most of like the cultures and shit like that, they put down women, but also like recognize like, okay, it's not all about masculine, it's feminine too. So like, don't leave out the feminine sign or the feminine aspect. Like it's good to uphold things, and also embrace yourself. It's like a sign to embrace yourself, and that goes for everybody, man or woman. Nobody's left out. So it's good to embrace yourself on that part. Like looking at it from an embarrassing sign, if you feel embarrassed about something, like you probably overthinking about it. And then Virgo, the thing about Virgo is like it likes to be analytical and think about things. But one thing I noticed about Virgo, like when they start doing things, everything clicks instead of like trying to do everything like, oh, like in a rush. Because nothing, like truth be told, everything's not perfect. Everything's not gonna be perfect. And how you see things perfectly is not really perfect, because you've seen it from a limited possible way instead of all possibilities. When you play as you go, things click upon, and it might not be how you want it or when you want it, but when it's time to be like on that type of timing, when you receive it and get what you deserve, it's like, oh man, like what I've been thinking about ain't even that big of a deal. Or when I think about it, whatever I think about, it's way better, because like, you know, it's all possibilities instead of like overthinking and stuff like that. And feeling embarrassed about things. Like you can be overthinking about feeling embarrassment going out in public, or thinking of feeling embarrassment about like making actions and doing plans. But when you actually do it, it's not even that bad. Like, okay, like you just do it. Like just, instead of like overthinking about it, just do it. Like speak about your do actions instead of overthinking. Because like the seconds and minutes apply. So like you overthinking it and giving it back seeds and fruits, you making it worse for yourself. So instead of overthinking, just do it. And Virgo's an earth sign, so it lets it do things. So just do it. And how you feel or think about that in that space, second minutes goes on, you be in another space, in another mood, and be like, oh, that's not even something to be embarrassed about. And what I did was like feel like confident in myself and embrace myself, which is Lilith. And like, you know, I feel like that, it's that quote, I feel like that nigga. But everybody's that nigga. Nobody's left out. Like I don't like how when you say you that nigga, and then it becomes like, oh, you egotistical. Like, no, like I'm that nigga. Everybody should feel like that. It's nothing wrong about that. And that goes along with like, you know, how people think and run around this world. And then also Mercury's in Capricorn. So it likes to start things practically, initiate things, but it's a cardinal sign too, but it likes to take things steady. So like it's a quote saying like, it's not how you finish, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So it likes to finish things, but how it start things, it might be the best. It's kind of like Virgo in a way, because Capricorn likes to like be perfect and a boss in a way, but how it start things that's the thing. So start on something, which is like financial, business, also getting around with people that are like-minded, which is the Libra moon. And then Mercury, it likes to think. So like thinking and feeling about ways to become more practical with people and also yourself. And it can be more than financial things. Right now I got on top of my head, but like, man, fuck it. What you mean? Like being practical about environment wise. So like doing things around your environment, and also, yeah, talking to people and doing like just planning shit basically. And also Taurus is in Jupiter, so it likes to expand things. So it's not all about materialistic things. It's about learning your individuality through the physical. So like it's like in a different spectrum. So like usually, like you not usually, but like Jupiter goes through all the signs. So all the signs have different spectrums. So since Taurus is in the Earth spectrum, it's gonna be like how you see yourself in the physical, and the things that you see in the physical is just material. Material comes and goes, but it's about like through the journey. So like people feel some type of way about their individuality through the physical. Like don't feel bad or feel some type of way about yourself in a negative aspect of expansion. So like throughout all, since Jupiter being Taurus, how do you grow individually, like on a materialistic, not a materialistic, but like an earth type of perspective. So like let me give you like simple examples. Like did you shed weight? Did you learn anything? Did you gain wisdom through materialistic things or earth experience? Like did you level up? Did you develop yourself? And also, yeah, having equilibrium with things and how you see things in external. And yeah, balancing the chaos, because Sag, like on some real ass shit, Sag is like that chaotic shit. Like if you want to get to, like I'm going to a different type of like realm spectrum. So Sag is like a chaotic magic and shit like that. Like once you actually start to do things and start to like use your abilities for things, it's really a chaotic type of element. But if you know how to balance it with the Libra, you're able to like, what you say, like square out the circle. So you start to square out the circle and have balance with things instead of being all chaotic and mutable. So it's good to have equilibrium. That's one thing why equilibrium is good. It's not to be good. It's not good to be one side of polarity. It's good to see both things and not be too like, you know, stiff or structured. But structure is good for, but what's your purpose? And got all these aspects, dang. Yeah, that's it for the video. Sag moon, no, Sag sun, Libra moon. I ain't gonna cap. Like I speak about this shit. It's like way different on writing it and then actually like presenting it. And like I'm doing my best I can and shit like that. But like it's like way different, way different. But hey, it's not like what I said. Like it's not what you start, it's how you finish, how you continue. But that's it for the video, talking about Libra moon and Sag sun, you know, balancing things and then also expressing it through the external, and also like the little chaotic term that I use about, you know, managing that and have equilibrium, because it's good to be like everywhere in the place, but you also want to ground it down. And also like, you know, that goes with emotional intelligence to like, you know, maneuver through things. But yeah, that's it for the video. Peace.